Hello kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. I picked up this Cub Cadet RZT yesterday from one of my scrappers. It's a 50-inch cut. He happens to be the furthest scrapper that I buy from. He's 55 miles away round trip, so it's quite a distance to go. He had a regular push mower for me for the last couple months, but I waited till he called me again with something else. So he had this Cub Cadet and another John Deere rider with a hydrostatic transmission, so I hooked up the trailer and went out to see what he had for these hydrostatic machines. So I ended up taking the Cub Cadet. The John Deere was a little rougher. Maybe I'll get that one at a later time. But I think the Cub Cadet has some potential, so I snatched this up. So I gave $50 for it. He said a neighbor had dropped it off. The battery was dead, but the neighbor jumped off the battery and was able to start it and ride it off the trailer, and he left it in the scrapper's front yard. So I was not able to start it. He said he could possibly jump start it for me, but I ended up just hooking up a come along and a chain and pulling it on the trailer. But I ran into an issue. The rear wheels locked up, and there's always a tab on these hydrostatic transmissions to get them to roll freely. They're always in gear with the hydrostatic. I discovered that with the Aaron Zoom that I had. So on this Cub Cadet, there's a lever here that you pull out and it disengages the transmission. There's instructions here on how to do it. It's similar to a John Deere with the lever in the back of the unit. You disengage the transmission so you can push the machine or pull the machine out of gear. Well, that was not the case yesterday. The machine would not come out of gear, so I ended up just pulling it up onto the trailer in gear. So that was a bear. I wasn't about to come home empty-handed after I had driven so far. I wasn't just going to take a push mower. I needed to capitalize on my trip. So needless to say, it took me about a half hour to inch this thing on the trailer. So I have the battery on a trickle charge right now. I want to see if there's any life left in the battery. I'm going to hose this thing down, maybe pressure wash it, get it all clean, and try to figure out why this thing does not disengage and possibly try to start it. Like I said, it should be a machine that starts, so it's going to need a little bit of maintenance. Apparently, he said it sat in a barn undercover. It does have a Kawasaki engine on it, a 22 horsepower. The production date on the Cub Cadet is March of 2006. So I'm going to be tinkering with this thing today. So some facts on this Cub Cadet from tractordata.com. The original retail price in '06 was $3,000 for this unit. Like I said, 22 horsepower Kawasaki. They also had a Briggs & Stratton model. This weighs 527 pounds. The forward speed is maximum 6 miles per hour, reverse 3 miles per hour. So I think this thing has some potential. It's got 3 blades on it, which I will remove and sharpen. All the spindles seem to move freely on the deck. There was nothing locked up. Everything turns as it should. The only issue, like I said, is this thing not going into neutral so you can roll the unit. So that needs to be investigated. I guess that's about it. One rear tire has been replaced on the right side. It's got an aftermarket tire. The left side is the original tire, and it's showing some dry rot. That may need to be replaced. It is low on air. I'm going to see if it'll hold air. It's got a Carlisle turf saver. I just priced these out there about $49 to $55 on Fleabay. So not terribly bad. Yeah, so that's it. I'm going to grab the pressure washer, spray this down with some Simple Green. It's kind of moldy and nasty.